Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good morning.
Good morning to Miss.
How are you today?
I'm fine. And you?
I'm fine, thank you. Okay, before we starting it today, let's pray to Allah. Who is leader in the class?
I Miss.
Yes, please.
Pray to Allah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now I will check your attendance first. Randi Arya Putra,
Present Miss.
Tri Wahyuni, Dava Nevianti, Putri Julianti, Zizi, Kayla, Dita, Wanda, Kiki, Cindy. Okay, good. Okay, before we enter our lesson today, does anyone remember our material last week? Yes, please.
Last week.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now who remember the organ that work in the digestive system?
I miss.
Yes, please.
There is a mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, pancreas, liver, gallbladder, large intestine, rectum, and anus, miss.
Okay, good. So now we will enter our lesson today about the defense system. Who here likes to sport?
I Miss.
Yes, please.
Sport can make our body strong.
Okay, that's right. With exercise, we can also increase our body defense system. Well, at our meeting today, we will discuss in more detail about the body defense system, and the Miss hope that your children will be able to understand more about this body defense system. Well, now what is the meaning of the body defense system?
I miss. I did.
Yes, please. Speak, please.
The body defense system is a defensive system that plays a role in causing and neutralizing potentially harmful foreign object or abnormal cause.
Okay, yes, alright. Give up this for Cindy. Okay, well, our body defense system has several functions. Who know what the function of the body defense system?
I miss.
Yes, please.
For
Condition defense
Condition defense system is
number one,
number one,
defend the body
defend the body
from
from
incest pathogens
pathogens
can enter
can enter into hot
class
class,
such
sun,
as
and
virus
virus
and
and
bacteria.
bacteria.
Number two,
Number two,
protect the body
protect the body
again and again
again and again
from the external
from the external
environment that
environment that
call for plants
call for plants
and animal.
and animal.
Contain food,
Contain food,
all
fall,
and animal health
and animal health
and chemicals
and chemical
substance,
substance,
drug and
door
purpose.
and purpose.
Okay, give applause for 3 1. Okay. Okay, in this body defense system, the human body has two kind of the defense mechanism. No one now?
I need
Yes, please speak.
no speaks defense and speak defense.
Okay, that's right. Okay, Miss will explain a little material about the body defense system. Please pay attention to Miss. Attention, please. Okay, the body defense system. The body defense system or immune system is a defense system that play a role in recognizing, destroying, and neutralizing foreign object or abnormal cells that have the potential to harm the body. Function of the body defense system is four. Number one, defend the body from insect pathogen or can enter into host cell, such as virus and bacteria. Number two, get rid of cells that have been damaged by a disease or injury to facilitate wound healing and tissue repair. Number three, protect the body against and again from the external environment that comes from plant and animal or certain food, pollen and animal hair and chemical substance or drug and pollutant. Number four, recognizing the and destroy abnormal or sick cell such and cancer. Okay, the body defense system mechanic 2. Number one, non-specific defense or natural. Number two, specific defense of adaptive. Okay, number one, non-specific defense natural. Non-specific defense is innate immunity, a normal defense of the body that is always found in a healthy individual and is ready to prevent and quickly get rid of antigen and enter the body. Number two, specific defense system adaptive. Specific defense are complex system that provide an immune response to specific antigen. Immunization program and tip. Immunization program is the activity of giving the body immunity against certain disease. The immunization program aims to raise the mortality threat from infection disease that can be prevented by immunization. Immunization is usually done by inserting the patient into the body by injection or dripping by mouth. Tip of immunization. Number 1, PCG immunization or to prevent tuberculosis atau TB. Number 2, hepatitis B immunization to prevent hepatitis B disease. Number 3, polio immunization to prevent poliomyelitis which can cause paralysis. Number 4, measles immunization. First give when the child is 9 months old. Factor that affect the body defense system. Number 1, genetic. 8, physiological, hormone, stress, and sport. And then, describe of the body defense system. 3. Number 1, hypersensitivity or allergy. Number 2, immunodeficiency. Number 3, autoimmunity disease. Okay, this explain material the defense system. Okay, now here is video about the body defense system. I hope your children pay attention to the video. Thanks for video.
But something remarkable happens when you explore one body system at a time in a bit more depth. And in our opinion, one of the most fascinating systems of all is the immune system. Why? Because it features cells in your body that work day and night together to protect you from a constant threat of pathogens trying to bring mayhem. And most of the time, you don't even know it. Most of the time. By pathogen, I could mean a lot of things. A lineup: viruses, bacteria, fungi, protists, parasitic worms. We could go on. Your body has external protection against these things, like your skin. We call that a first line of defense because it's the first line against letting these pathogens inside your body. Mucous membranes too, like the lining of your nose, will keep pathogens from getting inside. This first line of defense is non-specific because it's not selective about what it blocks from getting into your body. But this is all not foolproof, and sometimes they do get in. And when they do, your immune system has all kinds of ways to deal. After all, this is not its first rodeo. So let's say they break through our first line of defense. Well, the second line of defense includes the inflammatory response. To explain it very simply, let's say you step on a sharp stick, and there's some bacteria on that stick in your foot. The initial damage of this stick into your foot can cause certain types of cells, such as a mast cell, to react. These cells are filled with substances that work with allergic responses and inflammatory responses too. One substance they contain is histamine. If they are triggered to release histamine, the result is that this will cause blood vessels to dilate, meaning they widen near the injury. Histamine also contributes to making these blood vessels leakier. The dilation and the leakiness of the blood vessel makes it easier for many types of white blood cells, such as certain types of macrophages, to reach the area. And macrophages do what macrophages do best. They consume the pathogens. Additionally, your body has a complement system. The complement system is not what it sounds like. It basically works to help or complement the actions of the immune system. It can work with non-specific or specific responses. In this situation, the release of complement factors, in this case, can further attract macrophages to the area to consume pathogens. When all the signaling stops, the damaged area can return to normal. The pathogen has been terminated. However, that also was a non-specific response. Who knows what was on that stick? So that takes us to the third line of defense, the specific line of defense. If you had a cold virus spreading through your body, you may need your response to be targeted on that pathogen. Now, if we give our typical notice, the immune system is very pathogen. When they do, they process the pathogen, and the antigens from the pathogen are transferred to the macrophage's surface. A white blood cell called the T helper cell can bind. The macrophage will release chemical signals, which then causes the T helper cell to release chemical signals, which then can stimulate cytotoxic T cells. Cytotoxic T cells will be in search of infected cells so they can stop the pathogen, and they will also continue to amplify the immune response. That's the cell-mediated response. Simplified. But remember how we mentioned those helper T cells? They're big helpers as they help not only in the cell-mediated response, but they also help in the humoral response. So what happens in the humoral response? In one scenario, a macrophage has consumed a pathogen, and once again, has an antigen from the pathogen on its cell membrane surface. Then it binds a helper T cell, and helper T cell can also stimulate a white blood cell known as a B cell. B cells are white blood cells that have the ability to make something called antibodies. Before I define antibody, can we just take a moment and recognize that there are three words that sound very similar and can involve the immune system. Antigen, which is something that the immune system recognizes as foreign to the body. We've been mentioning that one a lot. Antibiotics are substances that can specifically destroy bacteria. We have a separate video on those. But antibodies are something totally different. Antibodies are proteins, and they tend to be in a Y shape. Antibodies have an antigen binding area where they bind a specific antigen. They will be found in blood, but many antibodies can also be found in mucus, saliva, breast milk, and more. There are different classes of antibodies. For example, IgE can protect against parasitic worms, and it's responsible for a lot of allergic reactions. Antibodies are generally very specific, so there must be an antibody that is able to bind to an antigen. When antibodies bind an antigen, they can deactivate the pathogen by affecting the ability of the pathogen to move, reproduce, or cause harm. The binding can also be like signs telling macrophages, here it is, come eat it. So activating B cells causes these antibodies to be produced. And this is part of the humoral response. While B cells can be activated by a T helper cell, they can also be activated by free antigens themselves that they may come in contact with. Now we do want to mention that both in the humoral and cell-mediated response, there are memory cells. There are memory B cells and memory T cells. These cells keep a memory of the antigen they were exposed to. Memory B cells can activate plasma B cells, which will make antibodies. Memory T cells can activate cytotoxic T cells, which will go after infected cells. The ability to keep a memory is very important, and this is also where vaccines come in. Vaccines can introduce either an inactivated or very weakened pathogen. This means the body does not give the disease itself, but it will launch an immune response. By launching an immune response, there will ultimately be memory immune cells that will be involved in launching an efficient attack if that pathogen is ever encountered in the future. Overall, this immune system that you have, it's pretty incredible. There are entire giant textbooks about this topic alone, and careers dedicated to studying it. Well, that's it for the Nuba sisters, and we remind you to stay curious.
Okay. Okay. So from the video, anyone has a question?
How do we mention our body's defense system is?
Yes, good question. So, to mention our body defense system, we have to be diligent in increasing, eating natural foods, getting enough sleep, and many more positive things we can do. Now, how understand?
Already, miss.
Okay. Now, Miss will give you activity to in group after finishing. Please present in front of the class.
Okay, miss.
Okay. Please sit in the group. Okay, time is up. Group 1, please. Please. Sini. Sini. Enggak. Speak, please.
Number 1, start and explain the kit of immunization and swab. BCG because make the line immunization the perfect tuberculosis TB.
Attention, please.
Hepatitis the immunization the perfect hepatitis believer in the infection. Polio immunization the perfect poliomyelitis which can cause paralysis. HPT immunization to prevent the kit of disease advanced normally diphtheria, pertussis, whooping cough, and tetanus. Measles immunization is given for the first time when a child is 9 months. What do you think is some aspect body defenses and swab? I have a present of low body defenses that person in prone to disease and his body power is weak. Number 3, name and describe the disease caused by immune system disorders that you know and swab. Hepatitis allergy hepatitis is an increase in sensitivity for creativity to entities that have been previously exposed optimal. Autoimmune disease is the failure of the immune system to differentiate between body cause and foreign cause so that the immune system attack the body one cause. Immunodeficiency is a condition of the decreased effectiveness of the immune system or the inability of the immune system to respond to activeness. Number 4, how do we keep our immune system strong? Answer: to keep our immune system strong, we must be doing get in everything, eating nutritious food, getting enough sleep, think positively, and many more positive things to do. Number 5, why immunization is so important to us. Since childhood, we have been immunized to make our body strong and immune to disease, sustain our body or not susceptible to disease.
Okay, good. Give applause for group 1. Group 2, please.
Hi, Miss.
Yes. Speak, please.
Number 1. Stand and explain the case of immunization and swear. BCG, Bacillus, Silmax, Green, imitation to friend to blood TB. Hepatitis B immunization to friend hepatitis B liver infection. Polio immunization to friend poliomyelitis with can cause paralysis. DVT immunization to prevent the kind of disease at once named diabetes, fractures, whooping cough, and tetanus. Measles immunization is given for the first time when a kid is 9 months old. Number 2. What do you think if some has weak body defense? Answer. If a person has low body defense, the person in prone to disease and his body power is weak. Number 3. Name and describe the disease caused and by immune system disorders that you know. Answer. Hepatitis T allergy. Hypersensitivity is an excurrent and sensitivity or reactivity to antigen that have been personally exposed or known. Autoimmunity disease is the part of the immune system, the difference between body cause and fatigue cause, so that the immune system attacks the body own cause. Immunodeficiency is a condition of described expression of the immune system or the inability of the immune system to respond to antigen. Number 4. Who do we keep our immune system strong? Answer. To keep our immune system strong, we must be diligent in exercising, nutrition, food, getting enough sleep, think positively, and money, more positive thing to do. Number 5. Why immunization is so important? Answer. Skin coat we have been immunized to make our bodies strong and immune to disease, so that our bodies are not susceptible to disease. Finish, man. Miss.
Yes. Thank you. Give up for group 2. Group 3, please.
Hah?
Yes.
Benda abang ini. Ini memang good.
Yes.
Number 1. State and explain the kinds of immunization. Answer. BCG, Bacillus cerebrale, immunizations to prevent tuberculosis. Hepatitis B, immunizations to prevent hepatitis B. Liver infection. Polio immunization to prevent poliomyelitis, which can cause paralysis. DVT immunizations to prevent their kinds of disease and add-ons, namely diphtheria, pertussis, whooping cough, and tetanus. Measles immunization is given for the first time when a child is 9 months old. Number 2. What do you think if someone has weak body defense? Answer. If a person has low body defense, then that person is prone to disease and his body power is weak. Number 3. Name and describe the disease caused by immune system disorders that you know. Answer. Hypersensitivity allergy. Hypersensitivity is an increase in sensitivity or reactivity to antigens that have been previously exposed or known. Autoimmunity disease is the failure of the immune system to differentiate between body cells and foreign cells, so that the immune system attacks the body own cells. Immunodeficiency is a condition of deficit of effectiveness of the immune system or the inability of the immune system to respond to antigens. Number 4. How do we keep our immune system strong? Answer. To keep our immune system strong, we must be diligent in exercising, eating nutritious food, getting enough sleep, thinking positive, feel, and many more positive things to do. Number 5. Why immunizations is so important? Answer. Since childhood, we have been immunized to make our bodies strong and immune to disease, so that our bodies are not susceptible to disease.
Okay, thank you. Give applause for group 3. Okay. Wow, describe the answer. It means that you already understand to material. Okay. Our material is body defense system. Can you compose our material?
I miss
Yes, please, Cindy.
we have to be increasing so that our body defense system increase, and if our defense system increase, we will not be susceptible to disease.
Okay, good. Give applause for Cindy. Okay. If we look at the current moment with the COVID-19 pandemic, this virus will attack our body defense system. Therefore, at this time, we must improve our body defense system in order to protect our body from this coronavirus attacks. What we can do, of course, is to comply with 3M healthy protocol, namely washing and hand with soap, wearing masks, and keep distance. Besides that, we also have to improve our body defense system by diligently exercising, eating nutrient foods, positive thinking, and other positive things. Okay. Uh, anyone? Anyone question?
No, miss.
Okay, good. Okay, now I will give you the quiz about the material. Please close your book Okay, 5 minutes. Okay, time is up. Please collect paper. Okay, thank you everyone. For the next meeting, we will discuss about reproductive system. Don't forget to study at home.
Yes, Miss.
Okay, thank you all. For the learning of the next meeting, Miss will give you an assessment in the form of a mind map regarding next week's material, namely the reproductive system. So you can study at home. Please work on it and collect it before next week's real start. Okay, before we end our lesson today, we read Hamdalah.
Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay, thank you. See you.
See you.